My wife's sister left a voicemail asking me to store her kids so the court would leave her alone. My wife slid the court papers across the kitchen table, and I felt my chest collapse. 2 names, ages 5 and 13. Her sister's kids. She wanted them in our apartment by the end of the month. My hands would not stop shaking. I looked at her and she looked at me like I had already failed. The room went quiet. My name is Bryce. I am 34. My wife Sloan is 32. We have been together for 9 years and married for 3. When we got together, we agreed on something important. No kids. Not maybe. Not someday. Never. We built our entire life around that promise. A 1-bedroom apartment in the city. 2 incomes. Routines that kept me sane. I have sensory issues. Loud noises shut me down. Clutter makes my skin crawl. I knew from a young age I was not built to be somebody's father, and I made peace with that. Her sister Darlene and Darlene's husband Terrell had been living in a 1-bedroom camper with 6 dogs, 2 kids, and Terrell's mother. Someone called child services. They found squalor. They found TC in the children's systems. Terrell had also forgotten to re-register as a sex offender. The kids were removed over 14 months ago. Sloan and I gave Darlene $4,200 for an apartment deposit and 5 months of rent. They blew through it. Never got the apartment. Never followed the treatment plan. Never even got visitation. Every grandparent said no. Terrell's father said no. Sloan's parents said hell no. That left us. Sloan said, "It is the right thing to do." I told her, "I do not have it in me." She said, "That is normal. It will change." I told her, "What if it does not?" She did not answer that. Our attorney laid it all out in January. Guardianship was the fast track. Adoption was the long road. Either way, the state of Washington wanted these kids off their books. New York did not want to pay for them. Nobody was offering a stipend. Nobody was offering real support. The 13-year-old Kendall had been picked up by police 3 times. She had a marijuana-induced manic episode and spent 11 days in a psychiatric unit. She had been caught stealing. She had accused 2 separate foster parents of inappropriate behavior. The claims were investigated and dismissed, but the pattern sat in the file like a lit match. I sat in the courtroom and listened to the judge, read the history out loud. I watched Sloan's face as she heard things her sister had never told her. I watched her flinch when the caseworker mentioned that Kendall had an EAP, a diagnosis of ADHD with oppositional defiant disorder, and had not engaged with therapy in over a year. I watched Sloan's hands tighten on the armrest when the judge said the boy, only 5, seemed to be adjusting better because he had essentially forgotten his parents. On the drive home, I said, "We cannot share a room with a teenager and a kindergartner in a 1-bedroom in the city." Sloan said, "We will find a bigger place." I said, "On what money?" She said, "You are punishing me for my sister's choices." I told her, "I am not punishing you. I am telling you the truth. I do not have the patience. I do not have the tolerance. I will end up resenting them, and you will end up hating me for it." She said, "So you are just going to let them rot?" That one landed like a shove to the sternum. The next week, I overheard Sloan on the phone with Darlene. Sloan was crying. Darlene was laughing. Darlene said, "Girl, just tell him to man up. You are overthinking it." Not a single word of gratitude for the $4,200. Not a single word of guilt. Not a single word about the 2 children she had not seen in over a year. I stood in the hallway with my back against the wall and my stomach in my throat. That phone call broke something in me, not toward the kids, toward the lie that this was about family, the lie that Darlene cared, the lie that the system was going to help. I sat Sloan down that night and I played the voicemail Darlene had left on my phone 2 days earlier, the one I had saved. In it, Darlene said, and I will never forget it, "Just take them so I can get the courts off my back. I will get them when I am ready, not when I am better, when she is ready." Like the kids were luggage at a carousel. I looked at Sloan and said, "She does not want them back. She wants them stored." And she picked us because we were the only ones too kind to hang up. Sloan did not speak for a long time. "We are separating. She is going to pursue guardianship on her own." I told her I would help with money, with logistics, with anything I could do as a friend. But I cannot be a father to children I did not choose, and cannot love the way they deserve. That is not cruelty. That is honesty. Our attorney told Sloan to push Washington for the interstate foster stipend. I printed every resource I could find and left the folder on the counter with a note that said, "You are braver than I am. Make them pay for it." I lost my wife over 2 kids I have barely met, because 2 people who made them could not be bothered to keep them. 9 years. Gone. Some people were not built to be parents. I am one of them. And the worst part is, I think I would have been a terrible one. The kids deserve better than that. So does she.